their hands. And then because women were so fast in using our mouth, so it's very easy for us to use our mouth. And we use our mouth sometimes roughly. Now men, they are human beings. And then when you use your mouth roughly and the man reacts. Now we are not saying that the reaction is good. We are not saying that the man should react that way. But we are saying there is something that spoils that reactions. Why are people not talking about that? Why are you so focused on the reactions? So it is high time we start talking from the foundation, the root of domestic violence. And that's why I wrote the book, Revealed, Hidden Secrets About Domestic Violence. No, there are certain things people don't like talking about. So we need to start talking about them. So that's the initiative, the passion, the everything behind some of the books that we did. And then you said one interest.
Yeah, the one you wrote about, all about XQUIZIT. Because for someone to write about themselves, there must be something. So I want you to speak about that a bit.
Okay, this is quite emotional for me because I had a very rough childhood. You know, I was abused several times as a child.
I'm so sorry to hear.
So sorry to hear that.
Yes, I've gone, you know, I've outgrown it, but and that's why I could actually, you know, it's easy for me to talk about. Okay, so I had rough childhood. I abused by the private teacher, abused by, you know, it wasn't just men, female. So women too, young ladies. You understand? So it led me. I started talking about. I wanted to express myself. I needed an avenue to tell the stories. So I thought about writing a book on my life. So in that book, I reviewed everything that had to do with my childhood, from being abused, from not having a father be there for me.
Was he absent in a way, like separated from your mom, or how, or just he was present in the house but absent? How do you mean?
He was absent as in absent.
He
I
left.
got to know my father when I was 7.
Ooh.
Yes. I got to know my father, physically see my father when I was 7 years. So he was a great man. He had his money, all the monies and everything. So that led me, and I had so much pain in me. I needed to express it. I needed to bring them out. I needed to let them off for me to move ahead in life. So I wrote that book during COVID season, COVID-19. And that's why I wrote that book, all about XQUIZIT. And after writing that book, I felt some sort of relief and release. You know, I began to forgive myself, because when you've gone through a series of abuses, it's very easy for you to blame yourself. Maybe you were at the point in a place where you shouldn't be, and you know, maybe you were
You want something you should not have
worn. But I
worn.
was a child, so there's no how I could have worn something I shouldn't be wearing as a child. You know, so it wasn't about what I wore, but I believe maybe I was at the point where somewhere I shouldn't have been. That's where the blaming of yourself comes in. A lot of people that have gone through series of abuses start from there. They believe, okay, maybe I did something to lure him, I did something that made him and all that. But the truth is, sometimes you didn't do anything. I had to come to that position to tell myself I didn't really do anything to deserve what happened to me. So writing that book helped me a lot. So these are the things that led me to writing. And then the other domestic violence book, it's also because of, you know, I see a lot of domestic violence in the society, and I see that people don't talk about so many things. So we need to start talking about them. So these are the reasons why I wrote my books.
That's really deep.
Oh, good. Some of the questions I wanted to ask have been answered by you in a way, because these are some of the issues we have in Nigeria, and we have often failed to treat it accordingly. Domestic violence, that's a different question. But when it comes to abuse, most times everything is channeled to the female gender. Nobody talks about the male gender. You know, whilst growing up, I faced a couple of all these things, and I can tell you it is terrible.
Yeah.
Now, sometimes when the male child comes out to say, hey, dad, mom, this is what this auntie did to me, or now this uncle, because shit's gone crazy in this world, you know, they're like, shut up your mouth, you're a man, you're a boy, you cannot say this, this cannot happen to you. And sometimes when men come out to say, okay, this is what happened, they're like, you're a man now, this kind of thing supposed to sweet you, you know. But whether you like it or not, it has a way of affecting you either positively or negatively. It makes or mars you. Now you see that you have people growing up to become pedophiles, something they were once subjected to, and it wasn't treated accordingly. So when it comes to the male gender and what's it called now, in Nigeria, you cannot rape a man. All right, it is called sexual assault under the laws of the Federation of Nigeria Constitution. You can't. It's called sexual assault because obviously the man owns a penis and all that. But we male gender, with the men, with the boys, it's happened to us a couple of times by these big aunties. You know, how do you help a male child who wants to come out and tell his story? Is there a way where parents can be more actively involved as well, because it starts from the home? That's where all this starts from. Is there, give us an insight into this, please.
Thank you very much. And I started a program called Open and Naked with XQUIZIT, Jane, and that was basically why I started that program. It's all about telling your stories without anyone seeing your face, because a lot of time people want to tell their stories but they don't have a platform, and they have this platform, they don't want their faces to be seen. So we need to provide platforms whereby someone can comfortably sit down and tell their stories. When I started that program, I see men, a lot of men came to tell their stories. You'll be shocked, a lot of them. And the truth is, I'll say roughly 80% of abusive men were abused. Yes. An abuser was abused one time in his or her life.
True.
So it is high time. The society has made it so, formed this kind of thoughts in the minds of everybody that a man, just like you said,
yes, nice stereotype,
can be raped. But the truth is, a man can be raped.
Oh yes,
a man can be raped. You can, when you forcefully take that whatever you want to take, is rape.
Oh yes.
If it can happen to a woman, it can happen to a man. So the truth is, the first part of tackling that thing is the root. And a lot of people are not going there. You know, people are all over social media talking, this man raped this person, but that man grew from a home, just like you said.
Yeah.
Now, the truth is, another truth is, the parents have a lot to do. Because I have found that there was this case that I had, and the boy told, he said he told the mother, I wasn't there, he said he told the mother said, you're a man, just like he said. And sometimes when a guy is 15, 16, 17, do you know, indirectly or directly, parents are hoping that you have a girlfriend somehow.
Yes.
But when it comes to a girl, they are somehow protected. But when it comes to the male child, they are like hoping
you're
that,
supposed to.
Yes,
you ought to have been telling the
that's how you're known as a man.
Yes.
That is the proof that
you're
I have
a
a child that is a man. That this my son can actually impregnate another woman and all.
Or talk to a lady.
Or talk to a lady. So it is the society and the family have so much. Yes, they are causing so much damage that we are not even talking about. And if the truth is, if we don't talk about these things, it will keep growing. It
will. It's the truth.
You know, there's something Pastor Mildred Okonkwo used to say. They say, plantain they rotten, they say they ripe. You understand? So if we don't talk about this, you say, no, the thing, it just they ripe. Meanwhile, it's getting rotten. And we'll be going on a quick break, and when we return, we still have XQUIZIT Jane in the studio, and of course orally. The conversation is getting deeper. At this point, you should take a jotter or something. If you don't have, go get it now while we're on this break. This is still WhatsApp on Galaxy Television, and we still have Aurelie and the XQUIZIT Jane right here in the studio. And you just watched some of XQUIZIT Jane's models doing auditions for the fashion show, and also some of the summits that she has held over the years. That was very beautiful to see. So let's talk about the reality fashion show you had last year. I attended the grand finale, and let's just talk about how it was for you creating a reality show. I mean, we've seen reality shows for entertainers like Big Brother Naija and some other. There was this one they did in the lockdown that was about finding love. I don't know why I can't remember the exact title, but a lot of
we had the first one. So do you remember House 4?
I don't remember.
Oh my God, House 4 that year. That was what I think birthed Big Brother Naija Africa.
Okay.
It was. There's this decoder that came out, HTV or something.
Or is it High TV?
High TV. Yes, that's where. That's where.
Oh.
I think no, dude.
No, before my God. Oh my goodness. So let's talk about now having a reality show for fashion. I mean, I saw beautiful pieces that day. The models were so amazing and all of that. So having a reality show for fashion, what inspired that, and how was it for you creating that? Like, you know, explaining the vision to people. There were a lot of brands sponsoring on the red carpet, selling that vision to them, and all. How was it for you?
Well, doing something new has never come easy for anybody, and it wasn't easy. Now, I had this concept. I wanted to, you know, show the designer as the designer is, and not the designs. Now, a lot of times people do their shows showing the designs. You have models walking down, and then at the end, the designer comes and bows. I wanted a show whereby the designers will be bowing from the beginning to the end of the show.
They did bow. They did bow.
Because the design is about the designer. Without the designer, there will be no design.
Oh yes.
So we needed to tell the stories about how the designers came out with their initiatives. What made you create this design? What worked? Some of them had crisis while creating designs. Some of them had their fingers, ears, and all that. So there were stories behind each designs on that day. So I wanted people to see these stories. So if you go to the YouTube channel, you will see the reality show itself. The last day was just the grand finale where people came and saw the paparazzis and all that. But from the 14 days event.
Okay.
Started on the 18th of November and ended on the 1st. So if you go to the YouTube channel, you will see the reality of when they were making the design. They had to do the sketch to the finished work. So that's where we got the name sketch to finish. So you have to see them in the house. You have to see them when they were in school, when they were being taught by their instructors and all that. So you saw when they were angry, when they were fighting for who will be the first to do whatever it is, just like we had in the Big Brother. But it's just that it wasn't that big. But we are believing God that more sponsors will come in. It took time for me to convince people and sell the ideas to them, because a lot of people do not understand what you want to do until you have done it. People want to see, that's why people ask for pilots.
Yeah.
You know, they want to see, let's see it.
A demo,
Yes,
something.
like, you know, so they wanted to see it reality. Let's see what you want to do, and then after that we can now come in. So we are hoping that this reality show will grow and become as big as a Big Brother, you know, with God on our side, because this will sell the designer, it will sell the models, it will sell brands, it will sell Nigeria as a whole, because now it is time that people understand that fashion is not just about dressmaking. There's a lot of, there are different aspects of fashion. Now we have different, the design itself for you to sketch. There are people that sketch, they don't sew.
True.
There are people that sew, they can't sketch. There are people that cut. They can help you cut the designs and everything, but they can't sew it. They don't know how to match that machine. So there are different aspects and different ways that youth can make money from fashion. Now these are hidden. We need to start exposing it. People need to see it. People need to understand it. Because the truth is, Nigeria is at that point whereby we need to give the youth something to think about, for them to come out from the negative aspect of life. Because if you don't occupy their mind with something positive, the negative will keep happening. So I got the idea that I wanted to not just sell the designers, but also an avenue to empower the youth and see how also to take it outside the shores of Nigeria, so that other corporate bodies in the international world could come in and see how we can empower ourselves as youth in Nigeria.
That's really beautiful to hear.
Yes. Also, it says you have a magazine.
Yes.
I'd want you to talk about that. Give us all the explicit contents.
Well, the magazine is just about XQUIZIT. It's actually about the company, about all the events I've done for the past 14 years.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
What's the name? What's the title?
XQUIZIT magazine.
XQUIZIT magazine.
So it's about all the events I have done, all the collaborations I've had, the people that have helped me build the brand over time. I'm telling the story about not just myself, but about the brands. Because the truth is, I have seen the growth of some of the brands that have worked with me over time. So we are talking about their growth also. So we're talking about growth in the magazine. We're looking about building brands, not just my brand, but other brands. So XQUIZIT magazine is all about fashion, brands, and individuality.
All right. Where can we get this magazine to buy?
Well, we're trying to put it online, and we're still trying to see how we can put it out there for everyone to get the magazine. And hopefully before the month of January ends, you'll be able to get the magazine in everywhere you can get your magazines, every stands that you have in newspapers and all that.
All right. Are you working on any project now? Recently, you know, you have a lot going on for you, and I'm sure when you leave this spot,
Another place.
immediately, you know, she's big like that. So, is there anything you're working on special? And I don't know. Is there anything that concerns trauma that people go through that you help to work on or work with? You know, there are a lot of people, just like the radio stuff you're doing, that's helping as well. But is there anything like a symposium, a workshop for that they can come through and, you know?
Yes, I have a summit called Lyrio Emerge. It's the Emerge actually. I'm doing it in every state. So some of the pictures were shown. So I had the Emerge in 2022. But I couldn't do it because of sketch to finish last year, but we're going to do it this year. So the EMAD is about drug addiction, drug abuse, the effect of drug abuse on the youth, then the effect of abuses on children. Just like what we're talking about, there are a lot of children that have been traumatized. Like you're talking from a place of pain.
True.
Good. So these are traumas. We need to deal with them. So I created an event whereby we bring people that have gone through this kind of things that I'll be able to talk, and then we bring some of your Nollywood actresses, some of the celebrities that also have gone through it. Because the last one we had Nobetion coming to tell us the stories of how he was abused and how he also suffered, and he went through drug addiction and all that. So he came to tell stories, and we have people like the Shegun Arinze coming to talk on drug abuse and drug addiction. So when you see people, when the youth see this kind of people coming to talk about this kind of things, they want to listen. So we want to create an avenue whereby people that are out there in the world could come and talk about these things. So it will help people that are going through these things come and express themselves, because in expressing yourself you heal. If you don't express yourself, you can't heal.
That's the truth.
Understand? So I have, and I'm hoping that I'll be able to do that summit come April this year. The March, yes. And then we're doing it I've been invited to come and do it in Enugu, you know. So, but we're looking at doing it in Lagos first, and then Abuja, then we might go to Enugu. As for projects, I have the Face of Lyric that is coming up very soon. We started it last year, December. So we're going to, it's going to run through till March, April. So, and some other stuff that we're still cooking.
That's really nice to hear. Like this food, let it be cooked already. Let it cook very well and properly. So how can our viewers connect with you on social media?
Well, they can connect with me on my Facebook page. My Facebook page is XQUIZIT Jane, and then my company Facebook page is XQUIZIT Jane Creations, and I'm on Instagram the same XQUIZIT Jane, and also on
TikTok.
XQUIZIT Jane, and then LinkedIn XQUIZIT Jane.
Okay, amazing. It's been beautiful having Exquisite Jane right here in the studio. But before you go, I want you to speak to someone. Yes, we talked about abuse and all of that today, and also about fashion and all of that. So I want you to speak to someone, a young child, who probably has been abused, that's probably watching the show, maybe in uni, watching on the phone and all of that, and struggling with a lot of shame and guilt and the blame on the self. And I want you to speak to that person now.
Okay. If you're watching the show, I want to tell you that I have gone through whatever it is you're going through. I've been there. I was abused as a child, but looking at me, you can see that it doesn't have, it doesn't reflect on my person. I've used the pain to build myself. I've used the pain, the hurt that I feel, that I felt, that I went through, to build a brand for myself. So I'm going to tell you today that whatever pain you're experiencing out there, whatever abuse you've gone through, is it domestic violence, is it rape, is it any abuse of whatever kind, you can come out of it and you can still shine. Abuses doesn't define you. You can make a choice to give yourself that definition that you want. Thank you.
That's really nice. Thank you so much. So you've heard it all. You can make a choice to give yourself a better life, give yourself something better, you understand. Thank you so much. It's been an honor to have you right here in the studio, share your story, your journey. We really, on behalf of WhatsApp, we really appreciate your coming today. Thank you so much.
You're honored to have you here. Thank you for giving us the truth as it should be said.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thank you for having me. I was waiting for those of your questions, but I didn't get them. I thought
no, he said you answered some of them.
Yes, she did.
Yeah, in your explanation.
At the first instance, when you started talking about domestic violence and then abuse,
yeah,
that's what I was waiting for. So you went through the whole express road. She didn't cut corners. She just went the express road, and it was good.
Yes, and that's why